Today we're looking at how to make the X-Men characters in Tekken, specifically in that 90s style, that kind of retro look that we all remember of how they looked in the animated series, and now also more recently in this modern iteration of them with X-Men 97, where they brought back that retro look. If this is your first time checking out my channel, thank you so much for hanging out and clicking on the video. I love character customizations in Tekken, and I just love Tekken in general and all video games, but character customizations is something that I find particularly fun and kind of silly, and just a great way to just like keep the game interesting, and also to just have fun with the game in a different way that's just not being competitive. I have a lot of short-form content showcasing my characters from all different games, but X-Men in particular did really well, and I had a lot of requests for people to just go through a tutorial, to show off the character, show exactly what the color palette was, where some of the accessories were placed, so that you could make your characters look like what mine were in the video. All the timestamps will be in the video below, so if there's a character you want to skip to, please go ahead and do that. And other than that, yeah, we'll just show off the character. We'll go through the thought process of why I put certain accessories or why I did certain colors. And if I skip over something, like for instance something like full face is an option in here. That's when they have like a full helmet. If I skip over that, that just means it was none. And then you can just skip over that when you're making your own personal characters. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's make the X-Men in Tekken. First up, I want to show off Jean Grey, who I think turned out particularly well. We used Nina as the base model. I think there are some maybe other options that could work. I think possibly Jun could be a really good Jean Grey, but I chose Nina kind of for the posture and kind of for the attitude. I thought that that would really play here. As far as some of the specific statistics, how to get your character looking exactly like this, I used medium hair here, bright red, as you can see, and that's going to give us that bright look there. Eyes, I went with sunflower, nothing here on mouth. Eyebrow color was standard, there was no makeup, nothing here as far as makeup on the cheeks. I did use ruby lipstick, and there's no face paint, and did not use tan. For clothes, I did use, not head there. I did use the entire body, and I used cyber suit. If you want to do a lot of these X-Men, you're gonna have to pick up the cyber suit. It just works too well, and I would recommend, if you're really into customizations, to grab the cyber suit, because it unlocks a ton of superheroes. You can do Superman, you can do Batman, a lot of stuff like that. But I also have made Overwatch characters in Tekken, and it works particularly well for them, gives them that kind of cyberpunk look. As far as the color scheme, this is what we're working with here. Very simple for the female model. It's only 3 colors, which just kind of simplifies everything, which is kind of great, actually. Nothing here on upper, lower, or the, I guess I did keep the unique here. Actually, I forgot I had that on, but her hair was so long that I don't think it really matters there. As far as accessories, and we're going to zoom in here just a little bit to be able to look at that. I did have the headband. As you can see, I made it this dark blue here. And then here's the statistics to get, let's just zoom in here and go right here, to get that right, as you can see, over her forehead here to match kind of Jean Grey's look. That's how we got that. I personally added also the rosehead corsage, kind of right here, kind of on her sternum area. And as you can see, it's just this kind of maroon red here, or not maroon red, but this darker red. And the statistics for it are here on how to get it there. And my thought there was, in the picture that I was using kind of as my inspiration, Jean Grey had a distinctive spot right here. So I thought that the rose could kind of play as that when we were making our Tekken version of that. Lastly, I loved throwing the red Vigor aura on her. I think it just works. You know, Jean Grey is Phoenix Force, so I think that having some red power-up effect really plays. I don't think I even added any hit effect. I guess we could right now, just for fun. Let's throw this red one on here. Cyclops, I think, turned out fantastic. I think he's eerily close to the Cyclops in the show. For the base model, I used Jin. A lot of people in the comments told me that Kazuya was their personal choice, mainly because of that beam move that Kazuya shoots out of his head. I totally hear you. I think that's a great choice, and the only reason I went Jin was a little bit more of personality and kind of that younger face. That was my logic for going Jin, but I think Kazuya is also a fantastic choice. Let's run through here on exactly how you can get Jin to look like Mr. Scott Summers. Short curtain haircut is the way to go. And as you can see, we're going to use kind of this darker orange red color here. Eyes are the standard brown. There is no facial hair. I use just the black, or I guess dark brown for the eyebrow color. You're not even going to see it with the mask on there, though. And then there's no makeup, face paint, and we did not use tan. For clothes, again, oh, actually, before we get into the full body, I do want to say that for the glasses, we used the blindfold. And as you can see, we just made it bright yellow. That's going to be the base for when we place an accessory over it to make it look like the visor. I think it works surprisingly well. So that's how we get there. Entire body is the cyber suit again, just like Nina. And as you can see, here's our stats for each color. There's that final one that's yellow. Again, I went through a few versions of this model, and I always do when I'm like trying to make these look as close as they can to the base picture that I'm going off of. You can use the illumination part of Jin's costume. That's like this center part and some of those lines you see. And I think that, and you can make them yellow and give Scott Summers a completely different look, but I kind of liked this toned down, very simple version for his costume. So upper body, lower body, we're not going to use the shoes either. And then accessory, here's where we use Alice Band. We're going to make it this kind of brighter red. And here's the stats for, as we zoom in here, we get nice and close. There we go. You can see that's how we're going to get it to just sit right on top of the mask there, just like that. And it's gonna play as a visor. That's how we're gonna get that to look like a visor. I also added the leather bangle, and I made it this color blue here. Statistics are here, and that's gonna give us this kind of popped collar, which I saw in the picture, and I wanted to kind of mirror when I was or it's not a popped collar in the picture. You know what I mean? I was trying to mirror what I saw in the picture. To give us this look, and I think it plays pretty well. I think especially at a glance, especially if you zoom out, you can't even tell that it's the leather bangle. It just kind of looks like it's part of the suit, which I think is great there. I didn't use any aura, anything like that. That is totally up to you guys when you're making your Scott Summers. Definitely recommend some of those power-ups. I think it looks great. But this is my final look for Jin as Scott Summers. Azucena is Storm. As you can see, I think she turned out fantastic. I think it looks a lot like Storm at a glance. Many people told me in the short form video when they saw this version of Storm, they were like, wait, but the personality's wrong. I would have gone Jun instead, and I totally hear you there. I think that's also a great choice. Really is up to you when you're making these to kind of match the personality kind of with the character that you're trying to create, or you can just abandon ship on that and just be like, no, I don't want to do that. I like this one better. For hair, as you can see, we did wavy ponytail, and it's of course bright white there. Eyes, I went with this galaxy one to give her that kind of ethereal look there. Nothing for mouth. Eyebrow color was black here. No makeup. Nothing for cheek color. Lips, I did want to make them pop a little bit, so we added the ruby lips there, and no face paint, and we did use tan. For clothes, as you can see here, there's nothing on for head, full face, or glasses. Entire body, though, is the seductive attire, and most of these, as you're going to see, are just this black setup to the setting of 10. Oops, popped out there. And you can see all of this is set to that. And then here, Once we get to the 10th slot here, it is yellow, set to 10, and a few of these, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, are that as well. And the last one, last two here are set to black as well. And that's going to give us just these highlights here, just on these little sort of leather patches on her suit to give it that texture that I think does match Storm pretty well. Because it's an entire body, we don't use upper body, don't use lower body, nothing for shoes. Unique is Azucena's flower, we don't use that. Once we get to accessory, though, this is where we actually do... Let me just zoom in here. We do have something here. We have the straight hair extension. Here's the statistics to get them right here, falling down her left side of her face. And as you can see, also it's just the white set to the brightness of 10 there. And if we pop out, here's our extension for the other side. All the statistics for that. And again, white set to 10. That's going to give Storm kind of that longer hair. Because something I've noticed in Tekken 8 is they don't really have too many, like, really thick, long hair options. There's a few longer hair, but it's kind of like they either have bangs or it's very thin and it's just going on the way back. So we have to use these hair extensions to get our look closer to these characters. I did use Aura. I think it's pretty important for Storm. I used Vigor Blue, and that's going to give us electricity. That's going to give us that power-up effect. I just think it plays. I recommend throwing it on, and I think it's worth it. One of my personal favorites in this whole X-Men character creation set I have is Asuka as Rogue. I just think she turned out so well. I've seen a few other versions of Rogue online for custom creations. They didn't use Asuka. They also used, I think Nina turned out particularly well, and also Jun turned out pretty well. But one thing I loved about Asuka is that Asuka has this sort of like jean jacket that opens up over a yellow top, and it just looks exactly like Rogue's open jacket. And so, maybe personality isn't right. Maybe Nina has a posture closer to Rogue's in the comic, but I do think that, like, as far as the clothing goes, that Asuka's is pretty much spot on. Let's run down here and take a look at each individual thing. Hair, we did go with the default hair. As you can see, it's kind of this dark auburn color. Eyes brown. Mouth didn't change anything. Eyebrows brown. No makeup, as you can see. Nothing here. I did add the lip color just to give her a little pop there. No face paint and no tan. Yes, I did use the headband. I almost forgot there. As you can see, it's just the black headband here. And it's just set at 10. Nothing for full face. Nothing for glasses. Entire body is the Asuka costume 1 here. As you can see, using a lot of these greens and yellows. Ever so slightly, the greens are ever so slightly different. I think that gives it a little bit of texture, which I really, really liked. We'll just run through everything here. This is the shoes. Gives them that brown look there. And that, I believe, is the last one. That's how you're going to make Asuka look like Rogue. Nothing here for upper body, lower body, or shoes. Accessory is going to be, as you can see, we're going to use these straight hair extensions. It's going to be white at 10. And there's the statistics. We're just going to zoom in here on them and showcase just how good they turned out. And that is the same for this hair extension here as well. It's going to be on the other side. And yes, that's also the white at 10. I don't think I put any aura on. Nope, nothing for hit effect either. So other than that, it's just a very simple costume, but I think really, really effective. And I love this Asuka as Rogue. I think she turned out great. Man, I am so happy with how Magneto turned out. I think he's surprisingly good. I used Claudio as the base model here, and let's just run through everything here. Default hair, yep, it's going to be set to the full white at 10. eyes default, no facial hair. I believe I set this just to the standard here. I think it was the black. No makeup, face paint, no tan. Clothes, we are going to use this headband. That's going to give this kind of top area because we want to be able to have Magneto's distinctive mask, but there's not a great way to make the mask, so we're gonna try and build it ourselves. So even though we have this little bit of kind of tail end of the headband back there, we're not gonna worry about that. But having our headband set to this bright red is gonna get us what we want. As we build, as you can see, we're gonna use a bangle there to get the full mask effect. Nothing for full face, nothing for glasses. Entire body is cyber suit. And here are the color palette nodes for getting us to this look. Nothing upper body, lower body, or shoes. Accessory, we're going to use the cloak. Here's the color palette for that. And I don't believe we changed anything. Oh, you can't even change anything. Fantastic. And then the other accessory is the bangle. We're going to set that to red here, and I'm going to zoom in just so you can see what we're looking for here. It was a little bit hard to get it to that specific location, but this is the everything that I used here, as you can see. And it's very funky in Tekken 8. Sometimes, you know, you can try your best to get it as even as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't, it's just not perfect here. But I think it reads all together when you're looking at it face on as kind of that distinctive Magneto mask. And I think it works pretty well. So I'm very happy with how Magneto turned out. I think he's pretty cool. I don't think I added any aura. I definitely think that, like, the purple could work. Something like that. But personally, I didn't add anything there. I joked about this in my short form video that Professor X in this game looks exactly like Lex Luthor when you make Fang look like him. You know what? So be it. That is what it is. They kind of look similar, but I actually think that this version of Professor X looks great, so I don't even care if people accidentally think he's Lex Luthor. Maybe you get a 2-for-1 with this character customization. Why not? Fang I really liked just because he has the shaved head option here. I think that looks great. Eyes are default, no facial hair, eyebrow color set to black, no makeup, face paint, no tan. And then here, nothing for head or full face, no glasses, nothing for entire body. That's not the way we did this one. We went into upper body, went to the blazer unbuttoned, and as you can see, here's how you adjust the color settings to get that green, to get the tie that color. Oh, we're at the last one there. To get the tie that color. I really think it plays really well. For lower body, it's slacks. And as you can see, we use that green again. Just like that. That's how we're going to get to what we're looking for there. For shoes, Victor leather shoes is what I went for. And yes, and let me just double check. Yep, it's using the black color node at 10, and that's all the way around there. And other than that, no accessories, did not use an aura. He's simple, but he's effective. I think he's a very easy costume to make if you're looking to make a Professor X. Here's the character creation that I think is eerily close to the actual X-Men look, and it's Lee as Gambit. I'm just amazed at how close he looks. It's kind of silly. I think he turned out great, and a lot of people in the comments for when I made the short form video of this pointed out, they were like, oh my god, Gambit as Lee is incredible. That's the one I want the tutorial for. So here it is. You can finally make Lee in the same way that I made him in the video. Let's take a look here. It's the default hair. We're going to set it to this dark kind of red here to give it that brown look. Eyes, I went with that kind of dark red one. I kind of was trying to match my inspirational picture. That's why I went with that. No facial hair, eyebrow color brown, no makeup, no face paint, and no tan. For head, we're going to use the headband again, the short one, just like we did for Magneto, to kind of build that mask. And yes, it's going to be black set to 10. Nothing for full face. Nothing for glasses, as you can see. For entire body, we are going to use the Tekken 7 style. This is going to give us that jacket, that textured jacket that really, really works really well. As you can see, here's our breakdown for the color palette. Let's run through everything here. I'm really surprised at how well that kind of maroon purple look reads in Tekken 8. It just looks exactly like the picture. I was very, very happy with that. Oh, there's our last one there with number 15. I just think he turned out fantastic. Nothing upper body, lower body, shoes. Nope, that's all the standards, so we don't need to worry about those. Accessory, I did use, oh, forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Is it Nanjanata? It's the staff sword, okay? we use the staff sword. That's the most butchered pronunciation ever. As you can see, it's just we're going to set both to this black at 10, and that's going to read as Gambit's distinctive staff. I also, as you can see, used the bangle just like with Magneto. We're trying to build that mask. There's the statistics there. This is also at black, set to 10, and if you zoom in here, you can get it right there, kind of hugging his cheekbones, and you can kind of fake making a mask for Gambit. I think he just turned out awesome. I also threw the aura on him. I think it plays very well. I used Vigor Purple for that. I think it looks great. Not necessary, though. I don't even think I used the hit effect. I think it's great to throw it on for him. I think it totally works. And other than that, I think this is good to go in the bag, and it's one that I am particularly proud of. I think he turned out really well. Here's one that at first glance I thought would be too silly or wouldn't work when I was making it, but then after it was done, I was kind of like, you know what? I think I would know this was Beast if I was online and I came up against this guy. This is inspired by the Beast from the aughts X-Men movies, when he's kind of wearing the suit, and I believe he's trying to, I think he's, what is he, in the courtroom? I think when he's wearing that. It's been a little while since I've seen the movies. But this is the look that I was inspired to go for when I was creating Beast to look like this. For body, we did not use tan. For clothes, did not use head. Full face, we did use this mask here. And as you can see, they are all set to this kind of lighter blue set at the 9 setting. That's all the way through to number 5. That's going to get us as close to Beast's blue fur as I think we can get, at least in my opinion. As far as glasses, nothing there. Entire body is the King Costume 1. And we're just going to run through the color palette here. This is how we got to this look. It's a very simple costume, but it's another one of those that I think is just really effective and kind of funny, too. I think it turned out pretty well. Nothing upper body, no lower body, no shoes. Nothing when you use the entire body node there. I didn't use any accessories. Did not throw on the aura. Very simple costume, but I think very effective, and I think pretty funny, too. I think it actually captures the spirit pretty well. Here he is, the man of the hour, and our last customization for this video. It's Paul as Wolverine. And while not exactly the costume from the X-Men 97 or the retro 90s cartoon, I still think it captures that kind of retro look and that kind of look of Wolverine from that era, and also kind of mixes a little bit of how we saw Wolverine in the movies. I think he turned out really well, and you know who he is right away, of course, because of the claws, but also I think that the clothes play as well. But this is a little bit more inspired by that Hugh Jackman look. When I was looking through, oh, how am I going to make Wolverine? I just thought that this one would look so good with Paul, with what we have available in Tekken 8. For hair, it's going to be the Lee short center part haircut. Here's the stats for the color there. Eyes, default. Facial hair, we are going to use bearded man style goatee to get us that distinctive Wolverine look there. Eyebrow color, and no makeup, no face paint, and no tan. For clothes, I don't believe it. Yep, nothing on head, full face, or glasses. We did not use the entire body for this. For upper body, this is where we use motorcycle jacket. And as you can see, here's the color nodes to get everything in alignment here. For this last one here, this is the gloves, and I tried my best to match kind of Paul's skin tone so that the gloves just kind of disappear, and it just looks like Paul is just having his hands out, no gloves on, and so we can also kind of see those claws a little bit better. I think it actually plays pretty well. For lower body, went with jeans with the chain. I thought the chain kind of played to the personality. I don't think I actually saw the chain in the picture, but I think it just kind of felt in line with Wolverine's personality, especially in those movies. And here are the color nodes to get the jeans looking kind of that like washed look. Yep, that's the last one there. And for shoes, I went with the Nicholas boots here. And here are the color nodes for that. I believe these are all just the black there. Yep, all the way to number 5. And that's going to kind of give him kind of looks similar to maybe just like rugged outdoor boots. And I think they work really well for that. Let's get down to why we're all here when we're making Wolverine. How do we make the claws really look like they're coming out of his hands? Let me see if I can just kind of zoom in the camera there a little bit. Yes, that's what we want, kind of coming out of the knuckles there. That is really going to read as Wolverine. And I also hid that. There's like a little metal bar at the bottom of the claws, and I really wanted to hide that within Paul's fist there. So it really just looks like the claws are coming out. As you can see, the statistics for how to get your claw there, it's right here. And we're just going to set the color palette to white at 10, and that's how you're going to get them to shine like that. For the other claw, let's bounce over there. There's your statistics for how to get that claw coming right out of his, right out of the knuckles there. And again, same thing, color palette is 10, and it's the white all the way set to 10. There is no aura, no hit effect that I used. I think he just kind of plays perfectly as is, and I love that Paul has a motorcycle too. I think that plays really, really well. So I hope that this helps you make your Paul look like Wolverine. Another great choice is also Steve, obviously because of the fists and his attacking with fists. He works really, really well. So he's another great choice. Although I think the personality for Paul, a little bit, kind of how he's cocky, I think really plays really well. So either, in my opinion, make a really, really good Wolverine. And that is the tutorial on how to make the X-Men in Tekken, specifically that kind of retro style. If you guys have any notes, any additions at all, or if you did something completely different, please let me know in the comments. I love reading them, and I would love to make a follow-up video if there are some pretty significant changes. And we can try and get to the bottom of how to make the greatest character customization for Tekken, and we can work on that together. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe. I'm going to be making more tutorials like this, kind of this long form style where we break down each character. And of course, I make the short form where it's just boom, 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 boom. We go through the showcase of each character, and I go through things like Pokemon or The Matrix or Avatar: The Last Airbender, anything like that. All these pop culture things that I really, really love. I love making them in Tekken. So if you want to see that, definitely subscribe and stick around. Thanks so much for watching the video. I will see you guys next time.